Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The NIC's Economic Relief Program has been extended for the period of 3 months to include July, August, and September. The amounts payable under the ERP remain unchanged. The NIC will continue to pay 50% of monthly salary, subject to a maximum payment of $1,500 and a minimum of $500, and subject to deduction of money received from the employer for the period of payment. Claimants who previously applied for the ERP are not required to reapply. However, employers are required to provide updated information in the employer portal on the NIC website on the status of their employees. Director of the NIC, Lincoln Matthew Mathre, assured that the extension of the program will not affect NIC's long-term financial stability.
We solicited actuarial input to determine that whatever we'd be spending would not compromise the fund. And based on that, we were able to decide on the 3-month program, where we sort of projected the cost of between $30 to $80 million for the 3 months. And that depended on which scenario we followed. So if it was at the low end where we thought maybe a fewer number of persons would have been unemployed, then we're looking at a $30 million figure. In fact, looking at it now, the projections for the 3 months are looking in the region of $35 million. And if we were to go the 6 months, we're looking at an amount not exceeding $80 million. So the figure we have projected for the 3 months as a maximum worst case scenario figure is a maximum we now expect for the 3 months. So on that basis, all the conditions were in the slot for the board to agree to an extension of the program.
The NIC says it remains committed to providing income support to contributors to help them navigate the financial challenges presented by the COVID-19 pandemic. Since then, the NIC has processed over 21,000 applications and made over 18,500 payments to individuals at an average of $830.16 per payment. A grand total of $15,367,932 has been paid to qualifying applicants thus far. The NIC urges contributors to be patient as it seeks to resolve matters which delay the processing of some applications. NIC's head of Group Internal Audit, Suan Shauri Payne, indicated that a number of measures have been put in place to ensure increased efficiency in processing payments, including employing additional staff.
We have increased the number of persons who are engaged in processing and verifying, definitely as one of them. We do recognize one of the areas we could have improved on is the timeliness of our communication to the applicants. We know that, and we have been making strides, like the director said, to automate that process. So one of the responses to the delayed response in getting feedback from the NIC is to attempt to automate. Because of the number of different reasons why, say, somebody's claim is in query or has been disallowed, programming it obviously needs a lot of fine-tuning. So in attempting to have it be automated, we are working on that. And we do recognize that there have been a time lapse that would be unreasonable for most, and we do apologize for that, but we are trying to do better at that with our automation.
The ERP was first announced on the 9th of April 2020 as the NIC's response to help workers navigate the economic hardship arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. The legislative amendments that were published on the 24th of April provided the NIC with the authority to execute the program. In other news, in collaboration with local manufacturing company NatMed, the Ministry of Tourism made a mass donation of PPE equipment to members of the taxi sector. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism underscored the importance of ensuring that all stakeholders are equipped to commence Phase 1 of tourism resumption.
Representatives of taxi associations from around the island gathered on July 6th at the Financial Center to receive a mass donation of personal protective equipment from the Ministry of Health and the St. Lucia Tourism Authority. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Donalyn Vite, underscored the importance of ensuring that all stakeholders of St. Lucia's tourism product be well equipped prior to the resumption of tourism activity.
In preparation for the resumption of tourism and travel coming in the next week, we are here to present a gift we consider. We consider it also an investment as a measure of getting the taxi sector prepared for the road ahead. One of the things we have to ensure is that we adhere to all of the protocols as designated by the Ministry of Health, and as part of that is the PPEs. So these play a fundamental part in terms of the preparation for you who are here today, represented by so many taxi operators and associations.
While expressing his thanks to Tourism Authority representatives, a member of the Southern Taxi Association commended the Ministry of Tourism and the Ministry of Health on their management of the COVID-19 pandemic. He says their work speaks for itself, and this is why he trusts the decision to resume tourism activity.
Let me, on behalf of Southern Taxi Association, not only say thank you to the ministry for the distribution that is being made today, but I must let them know that, and we have to give credit to the government and the ministry for the way this whole COVID-19 situation has been handled. I must say that when you consider the fact that all taxi drivers are in waiting, not receiving a salary, I think with Southern Taxi in particular, I think our members are ready. We know that there are going to be risks, but life must go on.
The donation consisted of 840 bottles of hand sanitizer, 50,000 surgical masks, 120 cloth masks, and 20,000 gloves. The St. Lucia Tourism Authority expressed its gratitude to NetMed for its major contributions to this activity. Jacka Wooding, Hot 7 News.
There's good news for travelers from St. Lucia to the United Kingdom, as the island is among the travel corridor lists released by the UK government, meaning visitors from St. Lucia do not have to self-isolate on arrival in the UK. Prime Minister Alan Shasley has reacted to the news about the lifting of England's quarantine restrictions for St. Lucia travelers. He said, quote, "It's really great news that St. Lucia is among the 59 countries which England has unlocked travel from and lifted quarantine requirements for. So from the 10th of July, St. Lucians would not have to isolate for 14 days on arrival in England," end quote. He says this is testimony to the success that St. Lucia has had in managing COVID-19. The Prime Minister says he knows that once international flights begin to arrive, there are some St. Lucians who have to travel to England to see loved ones or for business purposes or to attend school, and he says this is definitely good news for them. To mark CARICOM Day 2020, the government of St. Lucia launched CARICOM Colors Day, an initiative geared towards promoting the CARICOM identity and increasing public awareness of the organization. More in this report.
The Graham Louisi Administrative Building now hosts a CARICOM flag flying high. The flag was raised during a ceremony held in commemoration of CARICOM Colors Day and CARICOM Day 2020. Ambassador to CARICOM Elma Jean Isaac said that the hoisting of the flag was designated to project CARICOM's presence, strength, and accomplishments.
Our community continues to evolve, and each of us, shaped by our region's history, has an integral role to play in molding CARICOM's future. It is almost 50 years since this journey began on July 4th, 1973. And like most 50-year-olds, the Caribbean community boasts sufficient youthful vigor to continue to imbue life and energy into our project, while tempering exuberance with the kind of wisdom that is born of trials, hard knocks, and varied experience.
She also maintained that it was an act of profound symbolism for the future development of CARICOM. Isaac noted that 208 diplomatic missions in 55 countries have joined in flying the flag as a symbol of regionalism.
When I thought about the milestone we marked today as the first day on which we begin flying the CARICOM flag, together with our CARICOM sisters and alongside our national flag, it occurred to me that it is often only in documenting history that we recognize that we have in fact made history. Similarly, it is often in reflecting on or documenting the CARICOM story that we realize how much we have made history, how out of a diverse people, the majority of whom walked forth from the fiery furnace of enslavement, displacement, dispossession, and disenfranchisement, and who stood against every effort to dehumanize them, has emerged this great Caribbean civilization of which we are a part.
Effective from July 4, 2020, every embassy, high commission, or diplomatic office of every CARICOM member state will fly the CARICOM flag and their national flag over their buildings. Jacka Wooding, Hot 7 News.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Sports and weather are coming up after the break.